Before we begin, a quick and important disclaimer. The information provided in this video is for educational and informational purposes only. I am not a licensed financial advisor or insurance agent. This presentation is not a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified and licensed professional before making any decisions about your car insurance policy. Your individual needs and circumstances are unique, and the rates and coverages discussed here may not apply to you. You are being lied to. Every single day you see the commercials. A charming gecko with a British accent tells you that 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. A relentlessly cheerful woman in a white apron named Flo promises you can name your price. They've spent billions of dollars to convince you of one simple thing: that choosing car insurance is a quick, easy, and even fun decision. But here's the uncomfortable truth they don't want you to know. For millions of Americans, that 15-minute decision could be the most expensive mistake they ever make. The average American driver overpays for car insurance by nearly $400 every single year. That's $400 you could be putting toward your gas tank, your groceries, or a vacation. But it gets worse. Overpaying is only half the problem. The real nightmare begins after an accident, when you discover the policy you bought in 15 minutes has coverage gaps the size of a canyon. You find out the company you trusted is now treating you like an adversary, delaying your claim, lowballing the repairs, and turning your life into a bureaucratic hell. This isn't just about saving a few bucks. This is about financial survival. This is about peace of mind. And today, we are going to finally settle the biggest rivalry in the insurance world: Geico versus Progressive. This isn't just another surface-level review. We are going deep. We are going to rip apart the marketing, dissect the policies, and analyze thousands of data points to answer the one question that truly matters: which of these two giants is actually better for your car, your wallet, and your sanity in the United States? By the end of this, you will have a crystal clear understanding of which company is the right fit for you. Not for your neighbor, not for the guy in the commercial, but for you. You'll know their hidden weaknesses, their secret strengths, and exactly how to navigate their systems to get the best possible price without sacrificing the coverage that protects your family and your assets. Let's be honest, these two aren't just companies, they're cultural icons. In one corner you have Geico, the government employees' insurance company. Born in 1936 to serve U.S. government employees and military personnel, it's now a behemoth owned by one of the most legendary investors of all time, Warren Buffett, through Berkshire Hathaway. Geico's strategy is built on a foundation of simplicity and scale. Their message is relentlessly consistent. We are the low-cost provider. They've hammered this idea into our heads with a gecko, a stack of cash with googly eyes, and a group of perpetually offended cavemen. They want you to believe that because they deal directly with you, cutting out the middleman agent, the savings are passed on to you. They project an image of being friendly, accessible, and above all cheap. They are the second largest auto insurer in the country for a reason. They have mastered the art of making insurance feel like an easy commodity purchase, like buying a toaster on Amazon. And in the other corner you have the challenger, the innovator, Progressive. Founded just 1 year after Geico in 1937, Progressive built its empire by being the disruptor. They were the first to offer drive-in claim service, the first to let you pay your premiums in installments. They launched the first insurance website and were the first to sell policies online. Their entire brand, personified by the ever-present Flo, is about giving you options, control, and transparency. They introduced the revolutionary Name Your Price tool, which, while being a clever marketing gimmick, planted the idea that the customer was in the driver's seat. And then they unleashed Snapshot, the telematics device that promised to reward good drivers with lower rates based on their actual behavior behind the wheel. Progressive's message is, we are the smarter choice. We use technology and data to give you a personalized, fair price. They position themselves not just as cheap, but as the modern, sophisticated option for the savvy consumer. So you have this epic clash of philosophies. Geico, the master of mass market efficiency and low-cost branding. Progressive, the pioneer of personalization and technological innovation. They are locked in a multi-billion-dollar war for your business. And you, the American driver, are standing right in the middle of the battlefield. Choosing between them feels overwhelming because they both seem so convincing. But the truth is, the differences between them are massive. And those differences can have a profound impact on your life. A fender bender can become a financial catastrophe if your claims process is a nightmare. A totaled car can leave you stranded and in debt if your coverage isn't what you thought it was. And paying just $50 too much every month adds up to $600 a year, or $6,000 over a decade, that you're just lighting on fire. That's why we're going to put them head-to-head in a no-holds-barred 4-round championship fight. First, we're tackling the main event: price. Who is truly cheaper? We're not just looking at averages, we're breaking it down by driver profiles. We'll look at young drivers under 25, families with multiple cars and teen drivers, seniors, drivers with a perfect record, and crucially, drivers with a speeding ticket or an at-fault accident on their record. The results of this round alone will shatter some of the biggest myths in the industry. Second, we're diving into coverage. We'll go beyond liability and collision. We're comparing the fine print on things like rental reimbursement, roadside assistance, and specialty coverages like custom parts and equipment protection or rideshare insurance. Which company gives you more options to tailor a policy that perfectly fits your life? Third, and this might be the most important round of all, is customer service and the claims experience. When the worst happens, who has your back? We'll analyze data from J.D. Power, the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, and countless customer testimonials to see who answers the phone, processes claims fairly, and gets you back on the road with the least amount of pain. A cheap policy from a company that won't pay is worthless. Finally, we'll judge them on technology and user experience. How good are their mobile apps? How easy is it to get a quote, manage your policy, and file a claim online? And we'll take a hard look at their telematics programs. Geico's Drive Easy versus Progressive Snapshot. Are they a genuine path to savings, or a privacy-invading gimmick? So let's get started. It's time to look past the funny commercials and the catchy slogans. It's time to arm you with the facts. Let's start with the question that's on everyone's mind, the number one reason people switch insurers: the price. Who is going to save you more money, the Geico or Flo? The answer is far more complex than you think, and it all depends on one person. Let's break it down. To figure out who's cheaper, we need to pull back the curtain on how car insurance companies actually think. They don't just pick a number out of a hat. They are masters of data, running sophisticated calculations on dozens of factors to create a profile of you. This profile isn't about whether you're a good person. It's about predicting one single thing. How likely are you to cost them money? Every element of your life, from their perspective, either raises or lowers that risk. Your age, your zip code, the car you drive, your driving history, your credit score, even your marital status, it all goes into the grinder. And here's the secret: Geico and Progressive, while looking at the same information, put different weights on different factors. They have their own secret recipes, their own unique algorithms for calculating risk. That's why the company that's cheapest for your neighbor might be outrageously expensive for you. So instead of giving you a useless national average, let's do something better. Let's create a few typical American drivers and run them through the gauntlet. We'll see who Geico and Progressive favor, and more importantly, why. First up, let's meet Sarah. Sarah is 22 years old, a college student living in a busy suburb. She's got a 2018 Honda Civic, a perfect driving record, no tickets, no accidents, but because she's young, she has what insurers call a thin file. Not a lot of driving history, not a lot of credit history. For insurance companies, youth is a giant red flag. Statistically, drivers under 25 are involved in far more accidents. So, for Sarah, both companies are going to be expensive. But who's going to be less expensive? Geico will look at Sarah's clean record and her status as a student. They offer a very generous good student discount, which can knock off up to 15% if she maintains a B average or better. This is one of Geico's signature discounts, and it's a powerful lure for young drivers and their parents. They'll see her as a responsible young person, a lower risk than her peers, and price her policy accordingly. Progressive, on the other hand, comes at this from a different angle. They see a young driver and immediately think of technology. Their big play for Sarah is Snapshot, their telematics program. They'll offer her a device to plug into her car or an app for her phone that tracks her actual driving habits. How hard she brakes, how often she drives late at night, how many miles she drives. If Sarah is genuinely a safe driver, she can prove it to them with data. This could lead to a significant discount, potentially even larger than Geico's student discount. However, it's a gamble. If she has to brake hard in city traffic or occasionally drives home late from the library, the app could actually work against her. For Sarah, the choice is between Geico's guaranteed discount for good grades versus Progressive's performance-based discount for good driving. In this scenario, Progressive often comes out slightly ahead, especially for the young driver who doesn't drive much and can prove they are safe behind the wheel. They are willing to take a chance on a higher risk demographic if that driver can provide data showing they're an exception to the rule. Now let's move on to our second profile, the Millers. We have Mark and Jessica, both 38, with 2 kids, a 2021 Toyota Sienna minivan, and a 2020 Ford Explorer. They live in a quiet suburban neighborhood, have good credit, and own their home. Their record is almost perfect, except for one small at-fault fender bender Mark had 3 years ago. This is the heartland of America, the core customer base that both Geico and Progressive are fighting for tooth and nail. For this family, it's a true heavyweight bout. Geico is going to love almost everything about them. They're homeowners, they have multiple cars, they're in a stable age bracket. Geico's entire business model is built around attracting and retaining customers just like the Millers. They'll offer a multi-car discount and a huge multi-policy discount if they bundle their home insurance, which Geico offers through partner companies. That 3-year-old accident? Geico will likely be forgiving. It's old enough that its impact on the rate will be minimal. They will offer a straightforward, highly competitive quote. Progressive will come in just as strong. They pioneered the multi-policy discount and are incredibly aggressive with their bundling. They'll also look at that 3-year-old accident. But Progressive has something called minor accident forgiveness, which can apply to claims under $500. If Mark's fender bender was small, it might not count against them at all. Furthermore, Progressive's Name Your Price tool is a powerful psychological weapon. It allows the Millers to see different coverage options at different price points, making them feel in control. For the Millers, this is going to be a photo finish. The final price could come down to tiny differences in their specific zip code, the exact models of their cars, or which company is currently trying to grow its market share in their state. For the perfect family profile, you absolutely have to quote both. There is no consistent winner. But what if your record isn't perfect? Let's meet our third driver, Mike. Mike is 29, single, and drives a 2019 Ford Mustang. He's a good guy, but he's had some trouble. He got a speeding ticket a year and a half ago, and more seriously, he had a DUI 4 years ago. He needs in-state Route 22, which is a special form he has to file with the state to prove he has insurance. Mike is what the industry calls a high-risk driver. For Geico, Mike is a difficult customer. Their preferred client is low risk. A recent speeding ticket combined with a major violation like a DUI, even one that's a few years old, sends their risk algorithm into overdrive. While Geico will likely offer him a policy and file the state Route 22 for him, the price is going to be steep. Very steep. They see him as a significant liability, and their premium will reflect that. They aren't actively seeking out drivers with his profile. This is where Progressive has carved out a massive piece of the market. They have always been more willing to insure drivers with a few blemishes on their record. Their data analysis is famously robust, allowing them to price complex risks more accurately and often more competitively than Geico. They were one of the first major carriers to embrace state Route 22 filings online, making the process easier. For Mike, Progressive is not just likely to be cheaper, they are likely to be significantly cheaper. They understand that a person's past mistakes don't always predict their future behavior, and they've built a business model that can absorb that risk while still offering a rate that won't completely break the bank. For the high-risk driver, Progressive is almost always the first and best place to look. Finally, let's consider one more crucial factor, one that most people don't realize has a massive impact on their car insurance rate: their credit score. Insurance companies have found a strong statistical correlation between how a person manages their finances and how likely they are to file a claim. It's not about whether you can pay your bill. It's a risk prediction tool. A person with an 800 credit score is statistically a safer bet than someone with a 550 credit score, even if they have identical driving records. This is a hidden battlefield where Geico and Progressive wage war. Let's imagine two identical drivers. Both are 40 years old, drive a Toyota Camry, and have a perfect driving record. The only difference is that one has excellent credit and the other has poor credit. The driver with excellent credit could pay half or even less than the driver with poor credit for the exact same coverage. The difference can be thousands of dollars a year. How do our two giants handle this? Historically, Geico's model has been very sensitive to credit scores. They reward customers with excellent credit with some of the best rates in the industry. It's a key part of their preferred risk strategy. If you have a great driving record and great credit, Geico is often unbeatable. However, the flip side is also true. If you have a great driving record but a poor credit score, Geico's rates can be surprisingly high. Progressive also uses credit scores, but their algorithm often seems to be a bit more balanced. They might not reward excellent credit quite as aggressively as Geico, but they also don't penalize poor credit as harshly. This means that a driver with a clean record, but a challenging credit situation might find that Progressive offers them a much fairer shake. It's a critical piece of the puzzle that demonstrates, once again, that the cheaper company is all about your unique, individual profile. So, after all that, who's the winner on price? As you can see, there's no simple answer. It's a split decision that depends entirely on the fighter in the ring. Geico tends to score knockouts with drivers who have squeaky clean records, excellent credit, and military or federal government affiliations. They are the champions of the preferred customer. Progressive, on the other hand, is the master of the complex case. They often win on points with younger drivers, drivers with a ticket or accident, and those whose credit isn't picture perfect. But the base price is just the starting point. The real magic, the real savings, happens when you start stacking discounts. And the discount game is where these two giants get really competitive. We're talking about dozens of ways to slash your premium, some of which you've probably never even heard of. So, who has the better discounts? The answer might just flip everything we've just discussed on its head. Let's kick this off with the discounts everyone expects, the absolute basics. We're talking about the multi-policy discount, bundling your car and home or renter's insurance. Both Geico and Progressive offer this, and frankly, if you're not doing this, you're just leaving money on the table. It's one of the biggest and easiest discounts you can get from either company. They both also have good student discounts for the young drivers in your family who are hitting the books and getting good grades. And they both reward you for having a clean driving record with no accidents or violations. This is the baseline, the price of entry into the insurance game. On these core standard discounts, it's pretty much a dead heat. They're both competitive, both aggressive. But this is where the path splits. This is where Geico and Progressive reveal their true philosophies on how you should save money. And there is no bigger philosophical divide than how they handle usage-based insurance. You probably know it by its more famous names: Progressive Snapshot and Geico Drive Easy. This is the technology that tracks your driving habits through an app on your phone or a small device you plug into your car, offering you a discount based on how safe you are behind the wheel. And this, right here, is the single most important section of this entire comparison for a huge number of people, because the difference between these two programs is night and day. Let's start with the original, the one that started it all, Progressive Snapshot. Progressive was the pioneer in this space. They've been collecting data for over 2 decades, analyzing over 40 billion miles of driving data. When you sign up, you can either use their mobile app, or they'll send you a little plug-in device for your car. Snapshot primarily watches for 3 key things: how often you hard brake, how many miles you drive, and crucially, what time of day you drive. Driving late at night between midnight and 4 a.m. is a big red flag for them, as that's statistically when the most severe accidents happen. Now, the potential savings with Snapshot are massive. Progressive advertises that drivers can save an average of $146 per year. Some people save way more. If you are the perfect driver, you work from home, you drive sparingly, you brake like there's a carton of eggs on your dashboard, and you're always tucked in bed by 10 p.m., Snapshot could give you a discount that no other part of your policy can touch. But, and this is a gigantic but, it's a double-edged sword. Progressive is one of the few major insurers where your telematics data can actually raise your rates. That's right. If Snapshot flags you as a risky driver because you have a heavy foot or you're a night owl, you could end up paying more than you did before you signed up. It's high risk, high reward. Now let's look at Geico's program, Drive Easy. Geico was later to the telematics party, and it seems they learned a lot from watching Progressive. Drive Easy is app-based only, so there's no plug-in device. It tracks your habits right from your smartphone, and what it tracks is also different. Geico's big focus is on distracted driving. It monitors your active phone use while the car is in motion, whether you're texting, talking handheld, or tapping on the screen. It also tracks hard braking and total mileage, similar to Progressive. But here is the game-changing difference. According to Geico, your rate will not go up based on your driving habits in Drive Easy. You can only earn a discount. The worst-case scenario is that you get no discount at all. There is no penalty, no risk of a rate hike from the program itself. This is a fundamental difference in approach. Geico is offering a zero-risk way to potentially lower your bill, while Progressive is offering a high-stakes gamble. So who wins? Well, it depends entirely on who you are. If you are supremely confident in your driving, If you know you're a safe, low-mileage, daytime driver, then Progressive Snapshot offers a potentially higher ceiling for savings. You're betting on yourself, and if you win big. But if you're a night nurse who has to drive home at 3 a.m., or a salesperson who spends all day on the road, or you simply don't want the stress of knowing a few hard stops in traffic could cost you money, then Geico's Drive Easy is the clear winner. It's the safer bet. For most people, the peace of mind that comes with Geico's no-penalty approach is incredibly appealing. But the discount battle doesn't stop there. Let's talk about who you are and what you do for a living. This is where Geico lands a massive blow. Geico stands for Government Employees Insurance Company. That's its origin, and it has stayed true to its roots. Geico offers incredible discounts to federal employees, active-duty military, veterans, and members of the National Guard and Reserves. They have a special program called the Emergency Deployment Discount for military members who have to store their vehicles while deployed. Their connection to the service community is baked into their DNA. But it goes even further. Geico has partnership agreements with over 500 groups and organizations. We're talking alumni associations, professional fraternities, large corporations, societies for engineers, you name it. There is a very good chance that a group you already belong to has a partnership with Geico that could unlock an extra discount. Most people never even think to check this. Progressive doesn't really compete on this level. They don't have that deep-rooted affiliation with government or military personnel. Instead, their strategy is built around rewarding loyalty over time. Progressive has a tiered loyalty program. The moment you sign up, you're enrolled. After being a customer for a little while, you get small accident forgiveness, meaning your rates won't go up for your first claim that's under a certain amount. Stay with them longer, you get large accident forgiveness. Keep your policy with them for years, and they'll even start reducing your deductible, what they call their disappearing deductible. So Progressive's approach is to say, stick with us and we'll take better care of you over time. Geico's approach is to say, are you a member of one of our preferred groups? Great, here's a discount on day one. Again, a totally different philosophy. If you're a federal employee or military, the winner here is Geico, and it's not even close. For everyone else, it's a question of immediate affiliation discounts versus long-term loyalty rewards. Finally, let's look at the small, easy-to-get discounts that can stack up. This is where Progressive shines with modern, process-based savings. They'll give you a discount just for signing your documents online. They'll give you a discount for going paperless. They'll give you a discount for paying your entire 6-month premium upfront. They'll give you a discount if you're a homeowner, even if you don't insure your home with them. These are simple, guaranteed ways to shave money off your bill just by being a modern, organized customer. Geico's list of these other discounts feels a bit more traditional. They offer discounts for having anti-theft systems in your car, for having anti-lock brakes, for having daytime running lights. They also offer a discount if you complete an approved defensive driving course. These are all great, but they often require you to have a specific feature on your car, or to spend time and money on a course. Progressive's little discounts are just easier to get for the average person. So, after all that, who wins the discount war? It's a split decision, and the victor depends entirely on your personal profile. Progressive offers a more dynamic, hands-on approach. If you're willing to bet on your safe driving with Snapshot and commit to them for the long haul, the savings can be immense. Geico, on the other hand, offers safer, more passive discounts based on who you are and who you work for. Their risk-free Drive Easy program and their massive list of affiliation discounts make them an incredibly powerful contender, especially for a huge slice of the American workforce. The real winner is the person who understands their own life and driving habits and aligns them with the company whose philosophy matches. But let's be honest, a 20% discount doesn't mean a thing if the company disappears when you need them most. Saving $150 a year is worthless if your claim gets denied or you're stuck on hold for 3 hours after a traumatic accident. All these numbers, all these discounts, they're just one part of the equation. The other, more important part is how these companies perform when things go wrong. This is the moment of truth for any insurance company. It's the one service you pay for that you hope you never have to use. But when you do, when your heart is pounding and your car is crumpled, the quality of that a single phone call, that single interaction with a claims adjuster, can define your entire experience. It's here, in the chaotic aftermath of an accident, that the marketing slogans fade away and reality hits. So, how do Geico and Progressive stack up when you need them the most? To figure this out, we can't just rely on a handful of angry online reviews or glowing testimonials the companies put on their own websites. We need to look at massive nationwide data sets that paint a much clearer picture. we're going to lean on two titans of industry measurement. First, the J.D. Power U.S. Auto Claim Satisfaction Study. This is the gold standard. They survey tens of thousands of real customers who have recently filed a claim, asking them about everything from the initial report to the final settlement. Second, we'll look at the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, or NAIC Complaint Index. This is pure hard data. It tracks the number of confirmed complaints filed against an insurer relative to its size. The baseline is 1.0. A score below 1.0 means the company gets fewer complaints than average for its size. A score above 1.0 means it gets more. It's a direct measure of customer frustration. Let's start with Geico. The Gecko promises a process so easy a caveman could do it, and in many ways they deliver on that through technology. Geico has poured a fortune into its mobile app, and for a simple claim, say a busted taillight from someone backing into you in a parking lot, it can be incredibly slick. You can file the claim, upload photos of the damage, schedule an inspection, and even arrange for a rental car, all from your phone, often without ever speaking to a human being. For the tech-savvy person who wants a fast, frictionless experience for a minor incident, Geico's system can feel like magic. It's designed for speed and efficiency. But what happens when things aren't simple? What happens when there are injuries, disputes over who was at fault, or when the damage is severe and complex? This is where the digital-first approach can sometimes show its cracks. Some customers report feeling like they're stuck in an automated loop, finding it difficult to get a specific, dedicated person on the phone who knows their case inside and out. You might deal with one person for the initial report, another for the damage estimate, and a third for the rental car. This can lead to frustration, having to repeat your story over and over. When we look at the J.D. Power data, Geico consistently scores right around the industry average for claim satisfaction. They're not usually at the top of the list, but they're almost never at the bottom. They are the definition of a solid, middle-of-the-pack performer. They handle a colossal volume of claims, and they've built a system to process that volume efficiently. The trade-off is that it can sometimes feel a bit impersonal. Now let's look at their NAIC Complaint Index. Historically, Geico has performed exceptionally well here. Their score is typically far below the 1.0 baseline, meaning they receive significantly fewer complaints than you'd expect for a company of their immense size. This tells us that while the experience might not always be a 5-star, white glove service, the vast majority of claims are settled without escalating to the point where a customer feels the need to file a formal complaint with a state regulator. For most people, most of the time the Geico system works. Now let's turn the spotlight on Progressive. Flo and her team also lean heavily on technology, but their approach has a slightly different flavor. Progressive was a pioneer with things like their mobile app's photo estimate tool, allowing you to get a preliminary estimate just by taking pictures. But their real strength and a key differentiator is their network of physical, in-person resources. Progressive has a massive network of claims adjusters spread across the country and a number of dedicated service centers. Here's how that can change your experience. Imagine your car is badly damaged and not drivable. With Progressive, you can often have it towed directly to one of their service centers. There, a claims representative meets you, assesses the damage on the spot, writes you a check for the repairs right then and there, and gets you into a rental car that's waiting for you at the same location. The entire process from drop-off to rental can take less than an hour. They then manage the entire repair process for you with a pre-approved body shop. This hands-on concierge-style service can be a massive relief during a stressful time. It removes a ton of the logistical headaches from your plate. You're not coordinating with a tow truck, then an adjuster, then a body shop, then a rental agency. Progressive centralizes it for you. Of course, this service isn't available everywhere, and you have to be willing to use their approved network of shops to get the full, seamless experience. If you have a trusted local mechanic you've been going to for 20 years, you might prefer more flexibility. So how does this translate to the numbers? In the J.D. Power Claim Satisfaction Study, Progressive's performance is very similar to Geico's. They typically hover right around the industry average, sometimes a tick above, sometimes a tick below. Like Geico, they're a reliable performer but not typically a chart topper. Their NAIC Complaint Index is also generally good, usually landing below the 1.0 national average, indicating a better-than-average complaint record. While often not quite as low as Geico's stellar score, it's still firmly in respectable territory. So what's the final verdict on claims and service? It's not about one being definitively better, but about which philosophy you prefer for that worst-case scenario. Geico is built for digital efficiency and speed. perfect for straightforward claims and people who are comfortable managing the process through an app. It's a well-oiled machine that processes a huge number of claims with relatively few formal complaints. Progressive offers a similar tech-forward approach but complements it with a robust, hands-on physical infrastructure. If the idea of a one-stop shop where they handle everything for you after a major accident sounds like a godsend, Progressive's service center model might be a huge selling point. Think of it this way. Geico's strength is in its streamlined, low-touch digital processing. Progressive's strength is in its high-touch, concierge-style physical service centers. Both handle the vast majority of claims competently, and both land in a similar spot in national satisfaction surveys. The choice comes down to what kind of support you value most when things go wrong. Do you want to be empowered by technology to handle it yourself quickly? Or do you want to hand the keys to an expert and have them manage the chaos for you? This reactive service, how they help you after a crash, is critical. But insurance is rapidly changing. It's no longer just about what happens after an accident. It's about preventing one in the first place. This is where telematics comes in. Those little devices or phone apps that track your every move behind the wheel, promising huge discounts in exchange for your driving data. Geico has Drive Easy. Progressive has Snapshot. They are two of the biggest players in this new frontier of insurance. But how do they actually work? What are they really tracking? And is giving up your privacy for a potential discount a good deal, or a deal with the devil? We're about to plug in and find out exactly what you're signing up for. Let's start with Progressive Snapshot, the original gangster of usage-based insurance. They've been doing this for over a decade. Snapshot comes in two flavors. A small plug-in device that goes into your car's OBD2 port. That's the little port under your steering wheel mechanics use to diagnose problems. Or, more commonly now, a mobile app. Once it's active, Snapshot becomes your silent co-pilot, constantly taking notes. It's primarily focused on 4 key things: how much you drive, the time of day you drive, how hard you brake, and how quickly you accelerate. Think about your daily commute. You're cruising along and suddenly, the car in front of you slams on its brakes. You react, braking hard to avoid a collision. You just drove safely, right? You avoided an accident. But to Snapshot, that's a heartbreaking event. It doesn't see the context, it just sees the data point. A red flag. Do that a few times a week in rush hour traffic, and the algorithm starts to think you're an aggressive, high-risk driver. The same goes for acceleration. Merging onto a busy highway often requires you to punch it to get up to speed safely. Snapshot might register that as rapid acceleration, another demerit on your driving report card. And then there's the big one, time of day. Snapshot operates on the principle that driving late at night, especially between midnight and 4 a.m., is statistically riskier. There are more tired or impaired drivers on the road. So if you're a bartender, a night shift nurse, or just a night owl, Snapshot will penalize you for your schedule, regardless of how perfectly you drive on those empty roads. It's a purely statistical judgment. Progressive says you can earn an average discount of around $150 a year. But here's the critical catch: they whisper, not shout. In many states, a bad Snapshot score can actually increase your premium at renewal. So you're not just playing for a discount, you're gambling with your entire rate. Now let's shift gears to Geico's Drive Easy. Geico was a little later to the telematics party, but they came in with a different philosophy. Drive Easy is almost exclusively a mobile app that uses your phone sensors. And while it also tracks things like hard braking, acceleration, and cornering, its main obsession, its defining feature, is distracted driving. Drive Easy wants to know if you are touching your phone while the car is moving. It tracks 2 types of phone interaction: handheld phone calls and active phone use, which means texting, scrolling social media, or changing your music. This is a massive difference from Snapshot. Progressive doesn't really care what you're doing with your phone. Geico has made it the centerpiece of their program. If you're someone who can't resist checking a notification at a red light, Drive Easy will see it, and it will judge you for it. The app is sophisticated enough to try and tell if you're the driver or a passenger, using algorithms to figure it out, but it's not foolproof. Have you ever had your passenger use your phone for directions? Drive Easy might think it's you and dock your score. Geico also tracks things like the roads you're on highway versus a tricky rural road, and even the weather conditions. Driving perfectly in a blizzard might score you better than driving perfectly on a sunny day. The potential discount is higher too, with Geico advertising up to a 25% discount. Unlike Progressive, Geico states in most places that your score in Drive Easy won't be used to raise your rates, can only help you or do nothing. That's a significant safety net for drivers who are nervous about being penalized. So, on the surface, you have two different approaches. Progressive Snapshot is like a strict parent, focused on your curfew and your temper. Geico's Drive Easy is like a concerned friend, constantly telling you to put your phone down. But beneath the surface, they're both doing the same thing. Collecting your data. A lot of it. This is the heart of the issue. The question of privacy that makes so many people uncomfortable. When you enroll in these programs, you are giving an insurance company a live, minute-by-minute feed of your life in motion. They know where you are, where you're going, how fast you're driving to get there, and what time you left. They know you visit the gym 3 times a week. They know you go to a specific church every Sunday. They know you stopped for fast food on the way home. They are building a detailed, geotagged profile of your habits and your life. Both companies swear up and down that this data is secure and is only used to calculate your discount. They have lengthy privacy policies you can read. But let's be real, who reads those? Buried in the legal essay are often clauses that give them more leeway than you'd think. Could this data be sold to data brokers or marketing companies? They say no, but policies can change. The bigger question is, how can this data be used against you? Imagine you're in an accident, a he said she said situation. You claim you were going the speed limit. The other driver disagrees. Your insurance company, whether it's Geico or Progressive, now has a detailed log from your own phone or car that shows your exact speed leading up to the moment of impact. If it shows you were even 3 miles per hour over the limit, that could be used to assign you partial or even full fault in the claim. The very tool they gave you to save money could end up costing you thousands in a deductible and a massive rate hike for an at-fault accident. You are, in effect, handing the prosecution the evidence they need to convict you. And what about a data breach? We live in an age where massive, secure companies get hacked all the time. What if a malicious actor got their hands on a database containing the precise, daily travel patterns of millions of Americans? It's a chilling thought. You're not just trading privacy for a discount. You're trading a known private reality for a potential uncertain financial reward, while accepting a host of new unknown risks. So, is it a good deal? It depends entirely on who you are as a driver. Let's break it down. Progressive Snapshot might be good for you if you are a low-mileage driver. If you work from home and only use your car for errands, the low mileage will heavily boost your score. It's also good for people who have very regular, daytime schedules and live in areas with free-flowing traffic where hard braking is rare. But if you're a delivery driver, a salesperson who's always on the road, a night shift worker, or you live in a city like Los Angeles or Boston where aggressive driving is just called driving, Snapshot could easily backfire and end up costing you money. Geico's Drive Easy, on the other hand, is built for the driver who is a saint with their phone. If your phone stays in your glove compartment or mounted on your dash, untouched, for the entire trip, you're the ideal candidate. The 25% potential discount is tempting. It's also the safer bet for most, since it typically won't raise your rates. However, if you rely on your phone for work, even using hands-free, or if you're simply in the habit of checking things at stoplights, Drive Easy will punish you relentlessly. It's less concerned with how much you drive and more concerned with how you drive, specifically in relation to that little screen. The ultimate decision is a personal calculation. It's a battle between your wallet and your privacy, between your driving habits and a company's algorithm. You have to ask yourself, is a potential savings of $10 or $20 a month worth giving a multi-billion-dollar corporation a live GPS tracker on your life? For some, the answer is an easy yes. For others, it's a hard no. But choosing your insurance isn't just about the discounts and the tech. All of this is meaningless if the company isn't there for you when you actually need them. What happens when you hear that sickening crunch of metal and glass? Who is easier to deal with? Who pays claims faster? And who tries to nickel and dime you when you're at your most vulnerable? The real test of an insurance company isn't how they track you. It's how they treat you after a crash. And when we compare the claims process of Geico versus Progressive, the differences are stark, and could mean the difference between a minor inconvenience and a financial nightmare. Let's start with the moment you hope never happens. The screech of tires, the gut-wrenching crunch of metal, the sudden violent stop. In that disorienting aftermath, your first thought after checking if everyone is okay is, how am I going to deal with this? This is the moment of truth for your insurance company. All the clever ads, the promises of low rates, they all boil down to this single stressful event. How they handle your claim defines their worth. Let's imagine a scenario with Geico. You're in a parking lot, and someone backs into your bumper. It's a classic fender bender. No injuries, just a cracked bumper and a bruised ego. You pull out your phone, open the Geico mobile app and start a claim. The app guides you step by step. You take photos of the damage from different angles just like it asks. You snap a picture of the other driver's license and insurance card. You type in a brief description of what happened. Within minutes, the entire process is done. No phone calls, no waiting on hold. Before you've even driven home, you might get a notification. Geico's virtual estimator has analyzed your photos and generated a preliminary estimate for the repair. They give you options. You can take that money and get it fixed wherever you want, or you can use one of their pre-approved auto repair express locations. This is where Geico's model shines. If you choose an express location, the experience is designed for maximum efficiency. You schedule an appointment, drop off your car, and they often have a rental car from Enterprise waiting for you right there. The shop communicates directly with Geico, handles all the paperwork, and you just get a call when your car is ready. For a simple, straightforward claim like this, the process can feel incredibly slick, modern, and hands-off. It's the Amazon Prime of car insurance claims. Fast, predictable, and heavily reliant on technology to smooth out the friction. The promise of speed isn't just in the quote, it's built into their claims DNA. But now let's imagine a different scenario, this time with Progressive. You're merging onto the highway and a car sideswipes you, causing significant damage to your passenger side door and front quarter panel. It's more serious. You're shaken up. The last thing you want to do is start project managing a car repair. You file your claim with Progressive, and they present you with an option that is fundamentally different from Geico's primary approach. You can take your car to a Progressive service center. Think of this as a concierge service for a car crash. You drive your damaged vehicle, or have it towed to this one location. A Progressive claims representative meets you there. They don't just look at a photo, they look at you, ask how you are, and walk you through the entire process. They assess the damage right there with you. Your rental car is already arranged and waiting for you at the same facility. You hand over your keys, sign some papers, get into the rental and drive away. That's it. Your involvement is over. From that point on, Progressive takes the wheel. They get detailed estimates, they select a reputable, vetted body shop from their network, and they manage the entire repair process on your behalf. You don't have to call the body shop for updates. You don't have to argue about whether a part should be OEM or aftermarket. The Progressive representative is your single point of contact. They call you with updates. When the work is done, the body shop returns your car to the Progressive Service Center. You go back, drop off the rental, inspect your fully repaired car with the Progressive rep, and drive home. They even guarantee the repairs for as long as you own or lease your car. This is the core philosophical difference. Geico's system is built for the self-sufficient, tech-savvy customer who values speed and efficiency for common problems. Progressive's system, particularly with their service centers, is built for the customer who, in a moment of high stress, wants to hand the problem over to an expert and have it completely managed for them. It's the difference between a high-tech vending machine and a full-service restaurant. Both can give you a great meal, but the experience is worlds apart. Now, where do these two models break down? What happens when we move from a minor inconvenience to that financial nightmare we talked about? Let's say you're in a multi-car pileup. Fault is disputed. Injuries are involved. Your car is a total loss. This is where the cracks in a purely tech-driven system can start to show. With a complex claim at Geico, you might find yourself dealing with multiple adjusters. One for the vehicle damage, another for liability, and a third for any injuries. The efficiency of the app can be replaced by the frustration of retelling your story to different people in different departments. While Geico certainly has experienced adjusters for these cases, their system is optimized for volume and speed, and a complicated, messy claim is the enemy of both. In that same catastrophic scenario, the Progressive model with a dedicated claims representative can be a godsend. Having one person who knows your case inside and out, who you can call directly, can dramatically reduce the stress of an already traumatic situation. They act as your quarterback, coordinating everything behind the scenes. This human-centric approach can be slower to get started, but in a complex situation, it often leads to a smoother, more supported experience for the customer. So what does the data say? Anecdotes and hypothetical scenarios are great, but we need objective numbers. The most respected benchmark in the industry is the J.D. Power U.S. Auto Claims Satisfaction Study. For years, Geico and Progressive have been locked in a fierce battle, often trading places and scoring very closely to one another, and almost always above the industry average. This tells us that, on the whole, both companies are doing a good job. Customers are generally satisfied. But when you dig into the details and read thousands of customer reviews, the pattern we've discussed emerges. Geico is praised for its speed and ease on simple claims. Progressive is praised for its support and thoroughness on complex claims. An even more telling metric is the complaint index from the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, or NAIC. This organization tracks the number of official complaints filed against an insurance company relative to its size. A score of 1.0 is the baseline average. A score below 1.0 means the company receives fewer complaints than average. A score above 1.0 means it receives more. Historically, both Geico and Progressive have maintained complaint indexes well below the 1.0 average, which is excellent news. It means they aren't generating an unusual number of unhappy customers who feel the need to file a formal grievance. However, it's always worth checking the latest NAIC data for your specific state, as performance can vary by region. Ultimately, choosing between them on the basis of claims handling comes down to a bet. You're betting on the type of accident you're most likely to have. If you anticipate minor scrapes and bumps and you value a fast, digital, do-it-yourself resolution, Geico's model is incredibly appealing. If the thought of a major, complicated accident keeps you up at night, and you'd pay for the peace of mind of having an expert manage the entire chaotic process for you, Progressive's concierge-style service is a powerful selling point. The claim is the product you buy, but the price you pay is the premium. And while both companies have proven they can deliver when you need them most, the amount they charge can vary wildly, even for the exact same driver and the exact same car. The final price tag isn't just about your driving record or your zip code. It's about a complex web of discounts, some of which are obvious, and some of which are practically hidden. And mastering these discounts is the single biggest key to lowering your bill. One of these companies offers a long list of smaller, stackable discounts, while the other focuses on a few massive discounts that can slash your premium in half. If you qualify, and understanding which discount strategy benefits you more is the next critical piece of the puzzle. Let's start with Geico. Think of Geico's discount strategy as a Swiss Army knife. It's not about one giant blade. It's about having 24 different tools for every possible situation. They want to find a reason, any reason, to give you a discount, and they hope that by the time you've stacked 5, 6, or even 7 of them, your premium has been whittled down to an unbeatable price. Their discounts fall into a few key categories. First, you have the vehicle equipment discounts. These are the small ones, but they add up. Got airbags? That's a discount, potentially up to 25% on your personal injury protection. Anti-lock brakes? That's another 5%. Have an anti-theft system? That can be another discount of up to 25% on your comprehensive coverage. A new vehicle less than 3 years old? That's another potential 15% off. Individually, these are small drops in the bucket. But if you have a newer safe car, you're already starting with 4 discounts before they even know your name. Next are the driver-based discounts. This is where your personal history comes into play. The most powerful one is the 5-year accident-free good driver discount. If you've kept your record clean for 5 years, Geico can knock as much as 26% off most of your coverages. That's a huge chunk. Are you a student with a B average or better? That's another 15% for the good student discount. Taken a defensive driving course? That's another discount. These are pretty standard, but Geico applies them consistently. But here is where Geico's strategy gets really interesting, and where they have a massive, almost unfair advantage for a specific type of person. It's their affiliation discounts. This is Geico's secret weapon. Remember, Geico stands for Government Employees Insurance Company. They started by insuring federal employees, and they have never forgotten their roots. If you are a current or retired federal employee, you can get what they call the Eagle discount, which can be another 8 to 12% off your entire premium. This discount stacks on top of everything else. But it doesn't stop there. Are you in the military? Active, retired, or a member of the National Guard or Reserves? Geico offers a military discount of up to 15%. And then they blow the doors wide open. Geico has partnerships with over 500 groups and organizations. Major alumni associations, professional fraternities, large corporations, societies for engineers, accountants, you name it. If you're a member of one of these partner groups, you get another discount. So you could be a federal employee with a safe, new car, a clean driving record, and also be a member of your university's alumni association. You're now stacking a vehicle discount, a good driver discount, the federal employee discount, and an alumni discount. You can see how this death by 1,000 cuts approach can systematically dismantle a premium for the right person. Finally, there's the loyalty and bundling discounts. Insure more than one car with them? That's a multi-vehicle discount of up to 25%. Bundle your car insurance with a homeowner's, renter's, or condo policy. That's another significant multi-policy discount. For Geico, the ideal customer is someone who can check as many of these boxes as possible. Now let's pivot to Progressive. If Geico's strategy is a Swiss Army knife, Progressive's is a sledgehammer. They have many of the same small discounts, good student, multi-car, bundling. But their entire marketing and pricing model is built around 2 or 3 massive, game-changing opportunities to save. They are less interested in who you are on paper and far more interested in how you act in the real world. The undisputed king of the Progressive ecosystem is Snapshot. This is their telematics program, and it is the single biggest factor that can swing a quote in their favor. It's a voluntary program where you either plug a small device into your car's OBD2 port or use their mobile app. For about 6 months, it monitors your actual driving habits. It's not watching where you go, but how you get there. It tracks 3 main things: hard braking, rapid acceleration, and what time of day you drive. Driving late at night, between midnight and 4 a.m., is considered riskier. It also tracks your total mileage. Here's the deal. Progressive gives you an initial discount just for signing up. Then, after your monitoring period, they calculate your final discount based on your driving data. The company claims the average driver saves $146 per year with Snapshot. But here's the key. That's just the average. If you are a genuinely safe, low-mileage driver who avoids late-night trips, your discount can be astronomical, potentially 30% or more. This is Progressive's sledgehammer. It allows a young driver with no long history, no home to bundle, and no professional affiliations to suddenly get a better rate than a 50-year-old, simply by proving they are a safer driver in real time. But, and this is a massive but you must be aware of, Snapshot can also be a double-edged sword. Unlike some other telematics programs in many states, Progressive can actually raise your rates if Snapshot determines you're a high-risk driver. If you're someone who frequently brakes hard in city traffic or works a night shift, enrolling in Snapshot could backfire spectacularly. It is a high-risk, high-reward proposition. Progressive's other sledgehammer is their bundling. They are relentlessly focused on being a one-stop shop, and their multi-policy discount for bundling auto with home, renters, or even motorcycle insurance is famously aggressive. While Geico also offers this, Progressive often leads with a single massive percentage off figure that is psychologically very appealing. And we can't talk about Progressive's savings strategy without mentioning their Name Your Price tool. This isn't a discount, but it's a core part of their philosophy. It flips the entire insurance shopping experience on its head. Instead of them telling you what a policy costs, you tell them what you want to pay. You enter your budget, and Progressive shows you a range of coverage options that fit that price. It's a brilliant psychological tool that puts the customer in the driver's seat, making them feel in control of the price, even if it means tweaking coverage levels to hit their target. So, how does this all play out? Let's imagine 2 different drivers. First, meet David. David is 45, he's worked for the U.S. Postal Service for 20 years. He has a perfect driving record. He bundles his home in 2 cars, and his newer SUV has every safety feature imaginable. For David, Geico is almost certainly going to be the winner. He's going to get the federal employee discount, the multi-policy discount, the multi-car discount, the good driver discount, and every vehicle safety discount on the books. He is the customer Geico's entire system was built to reward. Progressive Snapshot program offers him little upside, because his rates are already low based on his profile. Now meet Jessica. Jessica is 23. She just graduated college and started her first job. She rents an apartment in the suburbs, drives a 10-year-old Honda Civic, and has a thin credit history. On paper, she looks like a higher risk. Most traditional insurance models, including Geico's, would give her a fairly high quote. She doesn't have a home to bundle, no professional affiliations, and no long track record of clean driving. But Jessica is an incredibly safe and responsible driver. She works a 9 to 5, so she never drives late at night. She's a cautious driver who rarely speeds or brakes hard. For Jessica, Progressive Snapshot is a potential golden ticket. It gives her the power to prove that her real-world behavior is safer than her demographic profile suggests. By using Snapshot for 6 months and proving her safe habits, she could unlock a massive discount that makes her premium far more affordable than anything Geico could offer her. The fundamental difference is this. Geico's discount model primarily rewards your life's resume, your career, your loyalties, your long-term history, and the assets you own. Progressive's model offers a pathway to reward your real-time actions, how you drive right now. So after you've compared the coverage, and you've run the numbers through the discount engine, you finally have your price. You've found the best deal, a policy that saves you hundreds of dollars a year. But the price is only one half of the equation. Because the moment you actually need to use your insurance, the quality of that company is put to the ultimate test. When you're standing on the side of a busy highway, watching smoke pour from your engine, a cheap premium means absolutely nothing if the company on the other end of the phone is about to turn your life into a living nightmare. And the difference between Geico and Progressive when a real crisis hits is one of the most important factors you need to consider. Let's play out a scenario. It's 5:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. Rain is slicking the asphalt. You're stopped at a red light, thinking about what to make for dinner, when you hear the screech of tires and feel a bone-jarring impact from behind. Your head whips back, your heart hammers against your ribs, and the world momentarily goes silent except for the tinkle of broken glass. You've just been rear-ended. Hard. In this moment, your insurance policy transforms from a piece of paper or a number on a screen into the single most important financial safety net you have. This is the moment of truth. And how Geico and Progressive handle this exact moment could not be more different. First, let's understand what a good claims experience even looks like. A good experience is simple. You report the claim easily, you speak to a human who is empathetic and clear, an appraiser assesses the damage quickly and fairly, your car gets fixed with quality parts, and you get back on the road with minimal disruption to your life. The entire process should feel like the company has your back. A bad experience? It's a slow-motion catastrophe. It's being unable to reach your adjuster for days. It's getting a lowball estimate that won't even cover half the repairs. It's fighting for weeks over the value of your totaled car, while you're bleeding money on a rental. It's a battle of attrition where the insurance company hopes you'll just give up and accept their first, worst offer. This is the nightmare. And both Geico and Progressive have, at times, been accused of delivering it. But their styles of doing so and their strengths are worlds apart. Let's start with Geico. Their entire brand is built on speed and digital convenience. And when it comes to filing a claim, they are undeniably excellent. Their mobile app is one of the best in the business. You can upload photos, file the first notice of loss, and get the ball rolling in minutes, right from the side of the road. That initial phase is often smooth, efficient, and exactly what you'd expect from a tech-forward company. The problem, according to thousands of customer reviews and industry data, often begins in the next step: the human interaction and the settlement. The J.D. Power U.S. Auto Claims Satisfaction Study is the industry's gold standard for measuring this. For years, Geico has consistently scored at or slightly below the industry average. Not terrible, but not great. When you dig into the details of complaints filed with the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, or NAIC, a pattern emerges. The most frequent grievances against Geico revolve around unsatisfactory settlements and delays. Customers report feeling rushed by adjusters who seem to be managing an impossibly high caseload. They talk about receiving initial repair estimates that are shockingly low, forcing them to go back and forth between the body shop and the adjuster, acting as a middleman in a fight they shouldn't have to be in. The core of the issue often seems to be Geico's business model. It's a high-volume, low-margin operation. To maintain those low premiums, they have to be incredibly efficient at controlling costs. And the biggest cost is claims payouts. So while their app is slick, the underlying process can feel impersonal and adversarial. You might be dealing with a call center adjuster 1,000 miles away who has never seen your car and is primarily focused on closing your claim as quickly and cheaply as possible. For a simple fender bender, this might be fine. But for a more complex accident, a totaled vehicle, or a claim involving injuries, many customers report that Geico's process can turn into a grueling negotiation you never wanted to have. It's a system designed for digital efficiency, which can sometimes come at the cost of human empathy and fair valuation. Now let's turn to Progressive. Their approach to the moment of truth is fundamentally different, and it all centers around one key innovation: their network of service centers. This is Progressive's trump card in the claims game. If you have an accident and choose to use one of their centers, the experience is designed to be a concierge service. You drop off your damaged car. They immediately have a rental car waiting for you right there. Then they take over everything. Their own adjusters are on site to assess the damage. They manage the entire repair process with an approved body shop, and they guarantee the work for as long as you own the car. You just get a call when it's ready. For someone who is stressed, busy, and doesn't want the headache of dealing with multiple body shops and rental agencies, this is an incredibly compelling, streamlined solution. It removes so much of the friction and anxiety from the process. This unique approach is reflected in their J.D. Power scores, where Progressive often scores above the industry average, typically beating Geico in overall claims satisfaction. The convenience factor is a huge win. However, Progressive is not without its own set of problems. The first issue is that this concierge service is only as good as the service center near you. If you don't live near one, or if you have a trusted local mechanic you'd rather use, the experience can be much more traditional and less seamless. The second and more common complaint mirrors Geico's but with a twist. The disputes with Progressive often center on the type of repairs being done. To control costs within their network, Progressive has been known to heavily favor the use of aftermarket or like-kind and quality parts instead of original equipment manufacturer, or OEM parts. For a 5-year-old car, that might not be a big deal. But if you have a brand new vehicle, the last thing you want is a generic bumper or fender that might not fit perfectly or have the same safety ratings. This can lead to major disputes between the customer, the body shop, and Progressive, turning that initial dream of convenience into a new kind of nightmare over quality control. Communication can also break down. While the initial handoff is smooth, some customers report going into a black hole of information, struggling to get updates from the adjuster managing their repair. So what does this all mean for you? Standing on the side of the road next to your wrecked car? It paints a picture of two very different philosophies. Geico offers a do-it-yourself, digitally driven process. It's fast to start, but if things get complicated, you may have to become your own advocate and fight tooth and nail for a fair settlement. The burden of proof, negotiation, and follow-up often falls squarely on your shoulders. Progressive offers a done-for-you path, a concierge service that can be incredibly convenient and remove a massive amount of stress. But in exchange for that convenience, you might be giving up some control over the repair process, potentially leading to battles over the quality of parts used to put your car back together. It's a choice between potential financial frustration with Geico versus potential quality of repair frustration with Progressive. One system prioritizes digital speed and cost-cutting. The other prioritizes hands-off convenience and network efficiency. Neither is perfect, and a bad experience is possible with both. The horror stories are out there for each company, but the type of horror story you are most likely to encounter is different. And knowing that difference is key, because the claim for your car's physical damage is often the simplest part of the equation. What happens when the claim isn't about your car's bumper, but about your body? The stakes get infinitely higher, the process becomes terrifyingly complex, and the one coverage option you absolutely cannot afford to misunderstand is where we're going next. Starts with a sound, a sickening metallic shriek you feel in your bones before you can even process it. Then the world becomes a violent, tumbling chaos of glass and force. One moment you're thinking about what to make for dinner, the next you're trying to remember how to breathe as paramedics cut you out of what used to be your car. The ride to the hospital is a blur of sirens and faces, and the days that follow are a fog of pain, medication, and worried conversations in hushed tones. You're alive. That's the miracle. But the nightmare is just beginning, because a few weeks later an envelope arrives. It's thick. You open it and a number stares back at you. A number with so many zeros it looks like a typo. $38,000. And that's just for the initial emergency room visit and the first surgery. The bill for the ambulance is on its way. The physical therapy you'll need for the next 6 months isn't even on the radar yet. And the paychecks you're missing because you can't work? They're just gone. This is the moment your car insurance policy stops being a piece of paper and becomes the single most important financial document in your life. This is the world of bodily injury claims, and the two coverages that stand between you and financial ruin are called personal injury protection, or PIP, and medical payments coverage, often called MedPay. They sound similar, but they operate in fundamentally different worlds, and how Geico and Progressive handle them reveals a core difference in their philosophy. Let's start with PIP. If you live in a no-fault state like Florida, Michigan, or New York, you are required to have it. The whole idea of no fault is to stop the finger-pointing after an accident. It doesn't matter who caused the crash. Your own PIP coverage is your first line of defense. It pays for your medical bills, a portion of your lost wages, and even things like hiring someone to help around the house if you're laid up. It's designed to get you help fast. Now imagine you have Geico in this scenario. You're in the hospital bed, and you use the Geico app on your phone. You start a new claim, tap the Injury section, and begin uploading documents. The hospital's initial bill, the doctor's report, your employer's letter confirming your lost wages. Geico's system is a model of digital efficiency. It's designed to ingest data, process it, and cut a check. You'll likely deal with a claims adjuster who is professional and courteous, but their job is to verify the paperwork. It's a clean, streamlined, and somewhat impersonal process. The system works, and for many it works well. The check arrives at the hospital, the bill gets paid, and you can focus on healing. It's a transaction, a very, very important transaction, executed with precision. Now let's rewind and put Progressive in that same hospital room. When you file an injury claim with Progressive, particularly a serious one, something different often happens. You're more likely to be assigned a specific claims representative who specializes in injuries. This person isn't just a paper pusher. They're your point of contact. They call you. They ask how you're doing. They explain what to expect next. They might coordinate directly with the hospital's billing department, taking some of that burden off your shoulders. It feels less like you're feeding documents into a machine and more like you have a case manager. Progressive has built a reputation on this more hands-on approach. It might not be as lightning fast as a purely digital system, and it involves more phone calls and conversations, but for someone who is scared, in pain, and overwhelmed, that human connection can be priceless. So who wins on PIP? Geico wins on speed and digital convenience. If you are organized and just want the bills paid without a lot of conversation, their system is phenomenal. Progressive wins on human support. If you want someone to guide you through the labyrinth of medical billing and recovery, their approach is arguably superior. But what if you don't live in a no-fault state? Then you're in the world of MedPay. MedPay is simpler than PIP. It typically only covers medical expenses, not lost wages, and the coverage limits are usually much lower. It's optional in most states, a cheap add-on that many people skip to save $8 a month. And that is a catastrophic mistake, because MedPay, like PIP, pays out regardless of who was at fault. It's the money that pays for your health insurance deductible, your copays, the ambulance ride right away, before the lawyers spend the next year arguing about who ran the red light. When it comes to a MedPay claim, the Geico versus Progressive dynamic is similar but amplified. Because the dollar amounts are smaller, Geico's transactional efficiency shines. You submit your $5,000 emergency room bill. It's approved, it's paid. Done. Progressive's more personal touch might feel like overkill for a smaller claim, but it's still there. The core difference remains. Do you want a seamless digital process or a human guide? But now, let's inject the real poison into this scenario. The person who hit you, they have no insurance, or they have the absolute state minimum coverage, which in some states is a pathetic $15,000 for bodily injury. Your bills are already past $38,000 and climbing. Their insurance is a drop in the ocean. This is where you pray, you absolutely pray, that you didn't cheap out on your own policy. This is the moment of truth for uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage, or UM/UIM. This is the part of your insurance policy that protects you from the irresponsibility of others. When you make a UM/UIM claim, a strange and unsettling thing happens. Your own insurance company, the one you've paid faithfully for years, changes roles. They now legally step into the shoes of the uninsured driver who hit you. Their job is to pay you what that driver would have owed you. And just like the other driver's insurance company would have, their goal is to pay out as little as possible. Suddenly, your trusted partner becomes your adversary. This is the single most contentious area in all of car insurance. And how Geico and Progressive handle it is critical. Both companies, let's be clear, are businesses. They will not simply write you a blank check for your pain and suffering. They will scrutinize your medical records. They will question if every single physical therapy session was truly necessary. They might send you to their own doctor for an independent medical examination to get a second opinion on your injuries. Can feel brutal. Can feel like a betrayal. With Geico, this process can feel very data-driven and direct. They will look at precedents, at jury verdicts for similar injuries in your area, and they will make you an offer based on a cold, hard calculation. Their negotiators are famously tough. They are not there to hear your story of suffering. They are there to settle a claim based on the numbers. The efficiency that was a blessing for a simple PIP claim can feel ruthless in a complex UIM claim. Progressive, while still a tough negotiator, often leads with a slightly different approach. Their claims process, which emphasizes more communication, can carry over into these complex claims. You might spend more time on the phone with their adjuster, building a case for your ongoing treatment needs. They may be more willing to engage in a back-and-forth dialogue before drawing a hard line in the sand. But make no mistake, they are still protecting their bottom line. The friendly face of Flo is replaced by a team of experienced lawyers and adjusters whose job is to minimize the payout. So who is better in this ultimate nightmare scenario? It's a tough call. Some personal injury attorneys would say that both are incredibly difficult to deal with, as is their nature. However, the general consensus suggests a slight difference in style. Geico can be faster to make an offer, but it might be a lowball take-it-or-leave-it offer, pushing you towards litigation if you disagree. Progressive might take longer, engage in more dialogue, and the process might feel more collaborative, even if their final offer is just as rigorously calculated. Ultimately, when your body is broken, the stakes are infinitely higher than a dented fender. Geico's strength lies in its speed and digital-first efficiency, perfect for straightforward claims. Progressive's strength is in its people and process, offering a guiding hand through the most terrifying and complex time of your life. The choice depends on what you fear more: the inefficiency of a bureaucratic process, or the chilling silence of a purely digital one. We've been through the fender bender and the life-altering crash. We've seen how both giants react when things go wrong. But there's one final brutal battlefield where every dollar counts: the battle for your loyalty. And the secret weapon one of these companies uses to keep you, even when the other is cheaper, is the one thing no one ever talks about. It's called the golden handcuff, a loyalty program so effective it makes you feel like you're losing money by leaving, even if another company is offering you a cheaper rate. And in this final showdown, Progressive has mastered it. Geico's philosophy is simple: we'll give you a great price right now. Their entire brand is built on the idea of immediate savings. Progressive plays a longer game. They reel you in with a competitive price, but then they start building a cage around you bar by golden bar. It's their loyalty rewards program. The moment you sign up, you're in. After 6 months, you hit your first level. You get small accident forgiveness, a minor fender bender, your first one, and your rates won't go up. Feels like a gift. Stay with them for a few years and you level up. You hit diamond status. Now you get large accident forgiveness. You could cause a major multi-thousand-dollar accident, and they promise not to raise your premium for it. You get a deductible rewards bank, where they literally reduce your comprehensive and collision deductibles every policy period you go without a claim. After a few years, your $500 deductible could be zero. Think about the psychology of that. You've been with Progressive for 5 years. Geico sends you a quote that's $200 cheaper for the year. The old you would have switched in a heartbeat. But the new you, the Diamond member, hesitates. You think, but I have large accident forgiveness. My deductible is only $100. If I switch to Geico, I lose all that. I'm starting from scratch. Is it worth saving $200 to give up years of earned loyalty? Suddenly, the math isn't just about the premium. It's about the value of the perks you've accumulated. Progressive has changed the equation. They've created a powerful sense of sunk cost. And Geico? They don't have a formal tiered program like this. Their loyalty reward is, in theory, the consistently low price itself. They're betting that their price will be so good, you won't need extra perks to stay. It's a battle of philosophies. Progressive's long-term relationship building versus Geico's transactional, best price today approach. But the loyalty war doesn't stop there. It gets even more intense with the ultimate lock-in strategy: bundling. This is where they try to wrap their services around your entire life. Both companies offer massive discounts for combining your auto insurance with home, renters, or condo insurance. On paper, it looks the same, a multi-policy discount, but the execution is what matters. Progressive, in many states, doesn't even underwrite its own home insurance. They act as an agent, placing you with a partner company like ASI or HomeSite. This sounds like a disadvantage, but they've turned it into a weapon. They integrate the experience so seamlessly that you feel like you're dealing with one company, but you're getting the specialized expertise of another. This allows them to be incredibly competitive on home insurance rates in areas where they might otherwise struggle. Geico does something similar, partnering with companies like Liberty Mutual through the Geico Insurance Agency. For the consumer, the effect is the same: one point of contact, one big discount. The true power of the bundle isn't just the discount you get today. It's the hassle factor it creates for tomorrow. Let's say you've bundled your car and your house with Progressive. You've got your diamond status on your auto policy and a great rate on your home policy. Now, Geico comes along and offers you a car insurance quote that's $300 cheaper. Fantastic. But wait, If you move your car insurance, you lose your multi-policy discount with Progressive. That means your home insurance premium is going to skyrocket. So now, to save that $300, you don't just have to switch your car insurance. You have to shop for and switch your home insurance too. You have to get new quotes, fill out new applications, deal with 2 different cancellation processes. The hassle is immense. The mental energy required is huge. And most people, when faced with that mountain of paperwork and phone calls, will just say, "Forget it. I'll pay the extra $300 to stay where I am." That is the golden handcuff, fully locked. They have made it more painful to leave than to stay. So after all of this, after the price wars, the tech battles, the claim showdowns, and the loyalty traps, who is actually better? Geico or Progressive? The truth is, asking which is better is the wrong question. It's like asking if a hammer is better than a screwdriver. The right question is, which one is better for you? Because after everything we've uncovered, it's clear they are built for 2 different types of people. So let's break it down. Let's find out who you are, and which of these giants is built to serve you. First, are you the price purist? You live and die by the bottom line. You set a calendar reminder for every 6 months to shop for new insurance. Loyalty means nothing to you. Savings mean everything. You have no problem switching companies to save $50. This is you, there is no single winner. Your winner is whoever is cheaper today. More often than not, Geico's lean, low-overhead model will appeal to you. Their whole system is designed for a quick, no-frills transaction. You go to the website, you get a low number, you buy. Simple. But Progressive Snapshot could also be your secret weapon, offering a massive discount if you're a genuinely safe driver. For the price purist, your strategy isn't to pick a company, it's to force them to fight over you year after year. Second, are you the settled homeowner? You own your home, you have a family, and your primary currency is time and peace of mind. You want to set up your insurance once and not think about it again for 5 years. You value stability and rewards for being a long-term customer. If this is you, Progressive has built its entire loyalty ecosystem for you. Their bundling is seamless, and their loyalty rewards, like large accident forgiveness and the vanishing deductible, are designed to create immense value over time. They make it feel like you're part of a club that gets better the longer you're in it. The potential for slightly higher premiums in the short term is offset by the long-term benefits and the sheer convenience of keeping your entire financial protection under one easy-to-manage roof. Third, are you the tech-savvy optimizer? You live on your smartphone. You want data, you want control, and you believe technology can get you a better deal. You're not afraid of being monitored if it means you can save money. You love a good app and a seamless digital experience. If this is you, Progressive is almost certainly your champion. Snapshot is the most mature telematics program in the industry. It gives you direct control over your rate based on your actions. Their app is consistently ranked higher, offering more functionality and a better user experience. While Geico has Drive Easy, it feels like they're playing catch-up. Progressive has been living and breathing driver data for over a decade, and it shows in the sophistication of their tech. Finally, are you the minimalist driver? You just need insurance. You're not looking for fancy perks, you don't need a top-rated app, and you're not bundling anything. You have a reliable older car, a clean driving record, and you just need to be legally covered for the lowest possible cost. You want the definition of a simple, cheap, effective policy. If this is you, Geico is your destination. Their entire business model was perfected to serve you. By stripping out the overhead, avoiding a massive agent network, and focusing on a direct-to-consumer model, they can often deliver the bare-bones state minimum coverage for a price that is incredibly difficult to beat. They don't distract you with loyalty tiers or complex reward systems. They just give you the simple product you asked for at a rock-bottom price. So Geico versus Progressive, it was never a battle with one winner. It's a battle for different territories of the American population. It's a clash of titans with 2 fundamentally different ideas about how to earn your money. Geico's promise is the fierce, unapologetic pursuit of the lowest possible price, right now. It's a transaction. Progressive's promise is a relationship. They offer a competitive price to get you in the door, then use technology, perks, and bundling to build a fortress of value around you that makes it incredibly difficult to leave. The real winner of this war isn't a gecko or a woman in a white apron. The winner is you. Because now you're not just a consumer. You're an informed strategist. You understand their playbooks, you know their weapons, and you know which game they're playing. Your job is no longer to guess which is better. It's to look at your own life, your own priorities, and your own driving habits, and decide which of these giants has built their empire for someone just like you. Then, you get a quote from both and you make them prove it.